Unreal Engine 5 Education. Lesson 1. What's a blueprint and what it does? So when you open the Unreal Engine, you see there is a viewport. This is your level in the game. This is how it will look in the game. On the top, you see a lot of tabs with lots of functionality. On the right, there's an outliner. This shows the list of all objects inside your level. The details is the details for the selected object inside the level. So to open your folder, you can click either on Content Drawer, and then there it is, or go to Window, Content Browser 1. There it is. Now, all the starter content assets are in the content folder. You need to keep things organized so you can create your own folder. Just right click and there is a new folder button. You can name pretty much everything. You need to give everything a meaningful name. What's a meaningful name? So suppose you name it and then leave the engine for about a year. And then when you come back, and if you understand what it is, what it does from the name, then it's a good name. Okay, so our lesson is is on blueprints. Blueprints are the main files of the game. It's a class. They are gonna be your main way to express code. So let me tell about some types of blueprints. So to create a blueprint, you just right click in an empty space and there's your blueprint class. Or there's a blueprint drop down which has more classes. So let me show you some types. One type is an actor blueprint. This is a blueprint. It has a viewport tab. It can contain any other object as components inside it. So like a cube or anything like that. You can drag it anywhere you want and rotate it, scale it, anything. Also, there's a tab, My Blueprint, and it has everything. Uh, an actor blueprint can contain functions, macros, variables, etc. It can be placed in the game world, just like that. You drag it. And then it will be displayed in the game as all visible object inside it. Like if there's a cube inside it, it will be seen as a cube, just like that. The important thing is it will play the code inside itself only if it is placed in the game world. If it's not, it will not activate. Another type of blueprint is a pawn blueprint. A pawn blueprint is basically an actor blueprint, but it is more specialized to be controlled by the player or AI controller. You don't need to know what it is, just keep that in mind. Another blueprint type is an actor component blueprint. This is basically the actor blueprint, but it does not have a viewport, so it has no visual components. Thus, it can contain visual objects, and it cannot be played in the world by itself. As you can see, it cannot be. But it can be placed in another actor or pawn as a component. So if you add a component, you search its name, new blueprint, and there it is, like a non-visual component. The important thing is the code inside it will play only if it's placed in another actor, and that actor is placed in the game world. So if it's not placed in another actor, it won't play. If it's placed in another actor, but the actor is not in the game, it will not play either. Keep that in mind. And there's also a data structure. It's need to be in a dropdown. So structure is practically a custom type of variable. You can have any types of variables right here and any amount, and you can name it as much as you want. And you can use them. So if you look at the add a variable, and there you select its type, you can search for new user defined struct, and there it is. So you can have those types of variable used as a custom type of variable. So the main code is being placed in the event graphs in both types of weapons. So everywhere the code works the same. So you don't need to know what it is, just as you can see, there's a white thread called execution node, execution thread. So this execution thread basically determines where the code goes. So it goes from here all the way to here, does this, and then goes there, and then does this. It determines where the code goes. Threads of every other call, they are used as a reference to the variable. Like if you create a variable, uh, new variable. So that's how you drag it. You drag it in. Get if you drag it right here, so it gets the reference to the value of this variable. Like this is a boolean, true or false, and the reference goes here, and then it goes right here, and it goes as an input. So every other color except white represents variables of different types. So that's pretty much it for this lesson. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.